Hey guys, how's everyone doing? It's David here. I hope everyone's doing well. So today we are back with a brand new video, and this video is going to be about multi-level marketing pyramid schemes, alright? So basically this is kind of like a story time video of something that's happened to me. So I recently just graduated college 6 months early, so 1 semester early, right? And I was applying to jobs, right? And as I was applying to jobs, I kept coming across this specific type of job where basically they name it all kinds of stuff, right? It's like entry-level marketing, entry-level like sales associate. Actually, they almost never use the word sales. They use like, oh, entry-level marketing, entry-level customer service representative, right? So basically what all of them are basically all of them are just sales jobs, right? You're basically knocking on doors, trying to sell things to people, or you're standing at like a Sam's Club or Costco trying to sell stuff to people. You're the barker that annoys people, trying to get them to buy things they don't want to buy, right? So that's what those jobs are, right? And so let me just give you a background of what it is, right? So multi-level marketing, you know, the vast majority of people believe, rightly so, at least I believe they believe correctly, that this is a pyramid scheme, right? This is a pyramid scheme that's borderline legal. It really shouldn't be legal, but it's borderline legal. So somewhere along history, you know, the government implemented a minimum wage, right? And why did the government do that? So people won't be exploited, right? So it's called the dignity of work, right? If you bust your ass and you work 40 hours a week, then you're guaranteed to make a certain amount so you can bring that home to provide for you and your family, right? It's the dignity of work, right? Now, you know, if there was no minimum wage law, then people will be paid a lot less, and there would be a lot more people starving and dying on the streets, right? So somewhere along the line in history, a few, I wouldn't say evil, but a few, let's just use the word cunning, right? A few cunning businessmen figured out, hey, you know what? We legally have to pay employees this amount, but what if we find a way to pay employees below minimum wage and do it legally, right? And that's where the MLM scam comes in, the multi-level marketing scam, right? So basically the structure is, you are not an employee of that company, right? You're not an employee of that company. You're considered a contractor of that company. That's what makes it legal, because you're a contractor and you're not an employee. So because you're a contractor, I put it in air quotes because, trust me, they're going to be micromanaging you and telling you to do this, do that, do this, do that. Even though you're like technically an independent contractor in name, just so they don't have to pay you anything, right? Anyways, so they found a loophole, right? So if they can make someone an independent contractor, then they don't have to pay them the minimum wage. They can pay them anything they want, right? So basically what it means is you become a contractor salesman, right? So the only way that you make money is through commissions, right? So basically that's how you make your money. Like how many you sell is how much money you make, right? And it's just such a scam. So what these MLM scams are doing now, they used to make their own products because it's higher margins. For example, Herbalife, where they lied about, where they said basically if you eat this, you can cure all diseases you have. And then they had to pay a $200 million fine to the FTC because, first of all, they were running a pyramid scheme. Second of all, they were making illegal claims. But anyways, because that's got such a bad rep, you know, a few years ago, I say around 2016 is when basically all of these Herbalife companies got busted. So because of that, what MLM scams do today is basically they partner with telecommunication companies, for example, Spectrum, right? They partner with these companies to sell their cable packages, right? So basically what happens is Spectrum gives this company, this borderline illegal multi-level marketing scam company, a certain amount of money if they sell a certain amount of products, right? And basically how these products are sold is they hire these independent contractors, the suckers, if you will, to these jobs where basically they're working for free, right? So let's say they sell a cable package, right? Spectrum is probably paying that illegal that pyramid scheme, let's say $500, right? And let's say, you know, maybe like $100 of that money goes to the actual salesman, so that will be the worker, right? And then the rest of the 400, you know, goes to the pocket of the CEO, the top of the pyramid scheme, right? And he would use some like maybe $100 of that $400, you know, to rent an office to look like they're legit, right? So it's just a complete scam. They don't have to pay anything if you don't sell, and if you do sell, they take the vast majority of the profit. So you're basically like their slave, right? You're basically working as a slave. I mean, you're getting paid, so slave is not the word. You're basically like an indentured servant, right? You're not a slave. You can leave. Well, indentured servants can't leave, but you're basically you're not a regular employee. All right, you're somewhere between an indentured servant and a regular employee, right? You can leave, but you know, if you're trapped, you're basically just working like a servant, right? You're working your ass off 50, 60, 70 hours per week to, you know, knock on people's doors or stand at a Sam's Club, Costco, selling these stuff to people, you know, throwing your self-pride onto the ground and stomping it just to make, you know, 10% margins of what the CEO is making. Like the CEO is taking like 80-90% of the actual profits, right? So it's just a complete scam, and it's a shame that's illegal. It's a shame that it's legal. It's just an absolute shame. And I literally almost got sucked into one of these, right? So basically what happened is they put their job listing, they listed their job opening as account executive, right? So for most people who are in the business world don't understand what that means. An account executive is literally like a business executive. Like you're supposed to be making $80K to like $100K a year, right? It's a really, really good job. It's a really prestigious job in the business world. So of course I applied to it. And then after that, they got me into office for an interview. Long story short, this was not an account executive position. This was one of those multi-level marketing scams, basically, where they want you to go door to door selling Spectrum cable. Alright guys, I'm sorry, my camera actually just ran out of battery, so I had to recharge it, and now I'm starting up again. Basically what I was saying was, you know, I was shocked by the audacity of these scams, of these scam companies, to just be outright lying from people from the get-go, like from your job listing. Like how can you advertise your job as account executive, but you want people to sell cable door to door, right? And then when I went there, they were like, "Oh yes, after you move up, after you get promoted 3 times from this position, then you can become an executive in maybe a year or 2." And I was just like, "What? Why didn't you just state the entry-level position then? Then I would have never came to interview, and we would have both saved our time. So why would you try to lie to me like that?" So basically, you know, these scams are started by salespeople themselves, right? So they're literally just trying to sell you the job. That's why they try to lie to you at the beginning, just to get you there. And then once you're physically there, they're gonna try to sell you on the job, just like they sell a product, you know, by lying, using manipulative sales techniques and all of that, right? So anyways, basically what happened was I went to the interview, and this is a 3-step interview, by the way. The first interview I went, they told me literally nothing about the job, right? Like I went to the account executive interview thinking this was a real job. They even had a nice office rented out, you know, from the profits they squeezed out of, you know, these slaves that they sent out into the field. The field is basically where you go to neighborhoods and knock on doors, and these slaves are earning like 10% of what they should be earning. 90% goes to them, and then they use 90% goes to like the top bosses that scam these people, and they use a small portion of these money to rent an office so they can look legit, so they can try to hire and ring in new suckers. But anyways, yeah, the first time I went to an interview, they didn't tell me squat about the job, right? They said it was a 3-part interview, and basically what they wanted me to do in the first interview was to just sell myself, right? And I did, right? It's an interview. Of course I'm going to sell myself. I'm not too proud to sell myself. So basically I was like, oh, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so they were like, all right, we'll call you if we think that, you know, you warrant a second interview. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, well, I'll see ya. Hopefully I get the second interview. You know, you could say I was dumb, but again, they listed their job as a fucking account executive, so of course, I'm gonna be super polite, and I'm gonna try to sell myself super hard, you know, as a career option, as a candidate for that career option. So yeah, I continue with my life, right, and then the next day, they called me, they're like, you know what, after further review, we really liked your interview, and we would like you to come in for a second interview. And I was like all excited. I was like, oh my gosh, really? Thank you so much. And they're like, are you available tomorrow? And I'm like, absolutely. So I came in the next day. Now this time I did a second round interview. It's just such a joke. They literally hire anyone, by the way. They hire anyone. Anyone who's willing to accept the job, they hire them. The only reason they make it a 3-part interview is because you know, it's sales, right? They use a lot of psychology. If there's a lot of steps to get something, if it's hard to achieve something and get something, then you value that something and you want to keep it, right? So they don't want to give this job to you too easily, even though everyone gets the job, they still don't want to make it seem like everyone gets the job. But yeah, anyways, so the second interview was with another person. They called her a top national sales associate. This company has one office, by the way. One office, based in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm not going to say what the company name is. Even though they try to scam me, they still did it respectfully. So, I don't want to ruin all their credibility, because they are technically legal, and although I don't agree with anything that they do, you know, there's thousands of these multi-level marketing scams, and I don't want to single them out just because I dealt with them, because they were courteous to me, so I just don't want to bring them down like that. But anyways, they have one office, right? I did my due diligence, I Google researched them, you know. They have one office, and they were like, oh yeah, this is our top national salesperson, she's gonna do her second round interviews, right? So she literally drove me to a Chick-fil-A, you know, trying to groom me to accept this job. So yeah, she took me to a Chick-fil-A, bought me a nice breakfast. I think I had like a chicken biscuit and an orange juice, and some tater tots. And basically, in the second interview was where they finally tell people, oh, this is what you're going to be doing. You're going door to door. It is a door to door sales position. And they made sure not to say sales, which is what they actually teach salespeople when they're in the field, knocking on people's doors, annoying everyone. They're taught to never say this is a sales interaction. Never use the word buy, never use the word sell, right? It's all super manipulative stuff. But anyways, yeah, so I forgot the exact way she phrased it. But basically, yeah, she just said it was a sales position where you're knocking door to door. And I was like, how do we get paid? And she was like, oh, easily. You can make all this money if you just sell like 5 a week. You can make like $2,000, $4,000 a week. And I was like, huh, that sounds good, but how the fuck am I gonna convince 5 people to buy a cable package that costs like over $100 a month? What do I look like? You know? So, yeah, basically after that, you know, she took me to the Chick-fil-A, she took me back to the office, and then I spoke with another person. Basically, this was the 3rd round interview. At least it was the same day. At least they had the decency to not make me drive there 3 times to waste my time, right? The 3rd interview was done on the same, right after the Chick-fil-A second interview trip. Looking back, honestly, I get why they try to I see why they brought me to Chick-fil-A. They want me to think, they want me to think that this job is fun, and they want to give me something, so I feel like I owe them something. This is like another sales technique, so I guess that's why they do that. They bring people out, buy them Chick-fil-A. That way, you know, the prospective employee feels like they owe them something. So when they extend the offer, they'll take it, right? Which, you know, I did feel like I owe them something, but I was not about to commit my career to a pyramid scheme just because you bought me a chicken biscuit and an orange juice and tater tots, although they were very good. And there were some things that I noticed. There were a lot of red flags, right? So basically during the second round interview, the lady who took me to the Chick-fil-A, I got into her car, right? So the whole way there, she's talking about, oh, I love my job. It never feels like work. It never feels like work. This feels like what I was born to do. It doesn't even feel like I'm working. Which is just utter ludicrousy, because it's just ludicrous. Like, how can it not feel like work when you're knocking on people's doors, getting shat on, literally people cussing you out, people saying no to your face, no, 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 bam, close the door, close the door, close the door on you. Like, how could that feel like you're not going to work? That would just... And I understand, right? Sales is important. There's nothing wrong with sales. It's just this pyramid scheme. If you're selling for yourself with your own business, that's fine. I'm like an entrepreneur or like an aspiring entrepreneur myself. I get it. Sales is important, right? I think sales is like the wealthiest job in America, I believe, is sales, right? It's not doctors, not lawyers, it's sales. I get it. Legitimate sales can be very lucrative if you're not in a pyramid scheme, or if you're on top of the pyramid scheme. I think that's why sales make so much, because these people at the top of the pyramid scheme make so much money. Anyways, so yeah, what I noticed was she kept saying, oh, it doesn't feel like a job. And at the time, I didn't know whether to believe her or not. But then what I noticed was she had like a baseball toy. It was like a squishy baseball toy that you squish. And I was like, oh, do you play baseball? And she was like, oh, no, that's actually a softball toy. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And she was like, yeah, it's what I use to de-stress. Like when I'm like, I don't think she used the word stress, but she's like, it helps me with, I forgot what word she used, but she's basically like, I think she used anxiety or whatever word she used, but she's like, oh, this helps me with stress or anxiety when I'm working. I don't even think she said when she's working, but I kind of connected the dots. Okay, this job is so stressful that you need to fucking squeeze a softball toy 24/7 just to not lose your mind. So that was a major red flag, right? What she was telling me did not match what I observed in her car, right? If you never feel like coming to work, then why do you have a stress ball in your car, right? Clearly you're stressed about something, which is this job. So yeah, went back for the third interview, and a guy was like, you know, one of the managers was like, oh yeah, you know, asked me some more qualifying questions, trying to get me to sell myself, and then at the end he was like, all right, if we decide to accept you, then we'll give you a call. And then I think the next day, actually no, the same day, they called me. They were like, congratulations, David, you got this job. Now, do you accept? They were literally trying to get me to say yes on the phone. They were trying to hype it up. They're like, you know what, we talked about it today. We had a group discussion. Everyone that did your interview, we discussed it amongst ourselves. And after careful consideration, we decided you'd be a good fit for this job. She literally, like, her tone literally went up. She was like, we decided you'd be a good fit for this job. Congratulations. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And then she was like, so do you accept? She was trying to get me to say yes right there, which is another sales technique. Because, you know, you try to get people's emotions high and then you try to get a yes, right? It was another sales technique. I mean, they know I'm a psych major, so I don't know why they were trying all these sales techniques on me. But anyways, yeah. So they were like, so do you accept? And I was like, I can't make a decision right now. I was like, when's the deadline to make a decision? And she was like, oh, by tomorrow. I was like, what? No, but I didn't, in my mind, I was like, what? But then I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'll call you by tomorrow. And then, you know, at the time, I actually wasn't very aware of these pyramid schemes. Now I know all about them, but at the time, I haven't done as much research yet, so I was actually considering accepting this job, even though it was 100% commissions, right? That's what these multi-level marketing pyramid schemes are. It's 100% commission. You don't sell, you don't get paid. right? The way that the lady was trying to describe it was saying, oh, it's easy, you can sell, you'll make money, blah, blah. So I honestly kind of believed her, and I was like, maybe I should take this job, right? But at the time I was applying to other jobs, and those jobs, they didn't let me know their decisions yet, so I can't just hastily agree to an all commissions job when I haven't heard, from other companies yet that I already interviewed for. They didn't say yes or no yet, so I needed to wait for their news. So I called them again the next day saying, you know what, I know you wanted me to make a decision today. Is it okay if I make it in a couple weeks or so? And keep in mind, this was in November, right? I graduated mid-December, so I still had a month of college left. So even if I accept, I couldn't start right away. So why did I have to accept, the offer immediately? It just doesn't make sense. Basically, they knew that, they were a pyramid scheme and they were a scam, and they want to get people, saying yes and accepting it as soon as possible. They want you to sign that independent contractor contract as soon as possible, so they could suck people in, right? They knew the more time you had to do research and to look at other jobs, then you would see this job for the scam that it is, right? Basically, the boss lady was like, oh, you know what? We're trying to wrap up the interview process. That's another saying that these scams say, right? They always say, oh, we're trying to wrap up the interview process. That's why we need you to make a decision. First of all, they're always hiring, all right? They're always hiring, because the more people, the more slaves they have selling, the better, right? Because they don't pay these people. They don't pay these people, right? These people, they sell the cable package. For every one package they sell, the cable company gives them, let's just say $500, right? And then they give like maybe $50 or $100 to the actual employees and keep like 80-90% of the profits. There's no risk on their end to hire people and pay people, because they don't pay people, right? It's a complete scam. They're always hiring. They're always looking for suckers they can reel in on board, right? The HR lady is always on the phone trying to get people to come in for interviews. So yeah, they're always hiring. Of course, at this time I didn't know, so I was almost falling for this scam. They were like, you know what? If you want to take some time, that's fine. We'll give you one more day. We're just gonna interview a couple more people just to protect our end. If you decide to accept the job, let us know right away so we can go ahead and wrap up the interview process and not interview any more people, right? So she's trying to create a sense of urgency in me and trying to make me say yes as soon as possible so she can reel me into the scam. So yeah, she gave me one more day to think about it, and then the next day I finally decided I can't do this. So yeah, basically that was my experience with these multi-level marketing pyramid schemes. I have a few more stories of these, actually. I have a few more stories of other companies that try to scam me and try to get me in. So if you're interested, let me know. Before I end the video, I just want to say, right, there's nothing wrong with sales, right? There's nothing wrong with door-to-door sales itself. I believe sales is the most important skill that you need to develop if you want to be an entrepreneur, right? So there's nothing wrong with sales. I'm all for sales. But there's legitimate sales, and then there's pyramid scheme sales, right? Like, I was offered a legitimate sales job, right? Basically, what the job was, you're still selling door to door, but you're getting, so basically, this particular job that was a real sales job, they paid $20 an hour plus commissions, right? So this particular job was selling internet, right? Fiber optic internet. A lot of pyramid schemes also sell fiber optic internet, right? It's not about the product, it's about the pay structure. That's what differentiates real sales jobs and pyramid schemes, right? So this real sales job, they pay $20 an hour base rate no matter what you sold. Even if you don't sell any that day, you still get $20 an hour. And on top of that, you get commission. So every one you sold, you get $140, right? And on top of that, you get $400 a month in a gas stipend, because you're using your own gas, so they give you $400 a month so you're not paying for gas. So that's what a real sales job looks like, right? Not these fake pyramid scheme sales jobs that have no benefits, no base pay, no stipends. It's just completely commissions, right? Those are pyramid schemes. So I turned the sales job down because I decided to go with another offer that with another company that wasn't sales because I didn't believe that I could do sales successfully. So I didn't take that offer. But that's what a real sales job offer looks like, right? There's a base pay, then there's a commission, and then there's stipends for expenses, right? Now, it'd be better if they have benefits as well, but I don't think they did. But yeah, a lot of real sales jobs have benefits as well. So that's what a real sales job looks like. There's nothing wrong with sales, right? That's basically the video. Make sure to subscribe if you like this kind of video. I can make more of these kinds of videos if you guys like. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, everything. Leave your experiences below if you also had a similar experience. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya.